Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I am sure majority of you may have seen videos coming up from Minnesota about the PP of a Democratic lawmaker. And the story is a little bit sketchy, but let's try as much as try to analyze this. So they were in their home, right? And somebody invaded their home. The person, according to what has been said, was wearing a cop uniform, ended up PPing them, right? Ran away, and on his way out, met the cops. And the person also fired at the cops, right? And escaped. So as it stands, the cops do not know who that person is. And I am asking, why would they know who the person is? Because they didn't chase after the person. If we were innocent people that are out there doing their thing, that person would have been, they will get you and label you whatever they want to label you. But I am going to leave that aside. So at the same time, you all can see how things are playing out since this man became the president. And there is a video that I saw where he said that he was caught on camera saying that he wants his people to obey him like North Korea. You know what? Let's get into this video.
A Minnesota Democratic lawmaker has been assassinated today in Minnesota. An update from when I made this post. The assassination attempt is now confirmed assassination, as Melissa Hartman has passed away and her husband, and Hoffman is still alive in critical condition. There's also a few new updates and anomalies that I'm seeing with this case so far as being reported by the police. After Hoffman was shot, officers were headed to proactively check on Hartman when they encountered the suspect at Hartman's home around 3:55 a.m. The police officers found someone dressed like a cop, wearing a vest, a badge with a taser and other equipment at the door coming out. The suspect then fired at police officers and gunfire was exchanged, but he somehow managed to escape the officers. The suspect's vehicle looked like a police vehicle, including police lights. Also found a list of other targets that were inside of the suspect's vehicle. This included other Democrats from Minnesota, including Governor Walz, Representative Ilhan Omar, Senator Tina Smith, and Attorney General Keith Ellison. Enforcement are currently looking into the matter to see if it was a one-off or is it a radicalized extreme right person, which I believe it is. And there's currently a manhunt underway. All the facts that have been presented to us so far by the police, you would assume that this is a police officer, correct? Because how could a suspect come out of a house, start shooting at cops, leave his vehicle, and then get away from police, and then they still don't know where he is? It's not far-fetched to know that ICE agents, the National Guard, the Marines, and the police can all be right-wing neo-Nazis and white nationalists. That's not far-fetched. They can all be radicalized by MAGA. They can all be MAGA. We have not had a week off. We have not had a week off since December.
Representative Melissa Hartman, as well as her husband, were assassinated today by somebody pretending to be a cop. But I don't think he was pretending.
My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa Hartman, and her husband Mark were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination.
Police officer and his partner pulled down the street when they arrived at Melissa's house. They noticed that there was a police vehicle in the driveway with the lights, emergency lights on, and what appeared to be a police officer at the door coming out of the house. When our officers confronted him, the individual immediately fired upon the officers, who exchanged gunfire, and the suspect retreated back into the home.
Was this a former was this an actual police officer or an impersonating police officer?
Yes, the question is, was it a real person or a person impersonating a police officer? It was not a real police officer. This is somebody that clearly had been impersonating a police officer, again, using the trust of this badge and this uniform to manipulate their way into the home.
So to your janitorial parallel, the person not only was wearing a badge, posing as a police officer, when they approached their victims, they had a car with lights and sirens?
Yes, the question is, what kind of vehicle and how were they dressed. They did drive a vehicle that looked exactly like an SUV squad car. It was equipped with lights, emergency lights that looked exactly like a police vehicle. And yes, they were wearing a vest with taser, other equipment.
I'm going to try to break down the scene for you because when I watched the first press conference, I was a bit confused until he got to this portion. Now, the officer is stating that they received a call that there was a shooting in the representative and her husband's neighborhood. The officer states that there were other officers who live in that neighborhood. So he said, hey, go and check on the representative's office just to be safe. When those responding officers got to the representative's home, there was a police car there, as well as somebody dressed in a police uniform at her door. That person was walking out of the representative's home. And when that person, who they said was pretending to be a cop, had seen the real cops, they began to fire and retreat back in the home. Now, the news outlets who are there are asking the cops, well, how did they get a police car? And this cop is saying that I guess this person had fashioned an SUV to look like a police car, but he doesn't really go into detail about that. Then another press person asks, well, what was he wearing? And how did they know he was dressed as an officer? Then the officer states, well, when the officers arrived, they said that that's what he looked like. He was wearing a vest, he was wearing a badge, blase soise. That was an officer. And I know that they're going to try to spin this to be like, oh, this person was impersonating an officer and blah, 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 blah. But where did they get the police car from? And what a lot of people need to understand, specifically the general public, is that a lot of the instruments that are used to build police cars are governed and sanctioned. You're not just going to be able to get police lights anywhere. You're not going to be able to get police decals anywhere. You're definitely not going to be able to get a full police uniform just anywhere. So this person was an officer. Maybe they were a fired officer or a retired officer or something like that. But I don't like how the press is trying to make it seem like, oh, he was just this rogue, crazy person assassinating representatives. Tell the real story. But once the story hits the internet, they gonna start digging.
If you don't know what happened in Minnesota last night, you need to, because this is exactly why we need to be wary on who is posing as what. A Democratic House rep was assassinated in her home. Melissa Hortman and her husband were gunned down in their home by an unknown individual posing as a police officer. Governor Tim Walz announced her passing in a press conference earlier today. The same unknown gunman went and targeted Democratic Senator John Hoffman and his wife. They're currently in the hospital, but their conditions are still unknown. Governor Walz has issued a state of emergency for the state, and he's telling all residents to not open their door to anyone unless it's to police officers, and that they should call 911 to confirm the identities that they are giving to them. I know today is supposed to be a lot, especially with everyone protesting, but please be safe. Have an emergency contact. Be aware of your surroundings. Travel in groups with people. Stay updated on both local and national news, and please just be safe, you guys.
I need y'all to take a very good look at this. I need y'all to take a very, very, very good look at this. Hold on, I have more. I want y'all to take a look at this as well. Look at the suspect. Not an illegal immigrant, not a trans woman in a bathroom, not Black Lives Matter, and not Antifa. A lot like a Patriot Front kind of motherfucker to me. But what do I know? Hey, John Fetterman, get your big Herman Monster head ass out here for a second. Come here. Hey, buddy. While you were talking about condemning burning cars and moral high ground, is this the moral high ground, sir? Is it? Are we supposed to ignore that? 4 people shot. 2 people killed. 2 people we're hoping survives this. You gonna say anything? Or do you have to wait for AIPAC to get their fist out of your ass before you do? But I digress. Because this isn't about Lurch. No. This is about the American political system. In as many or as least words as I can possibly make it, this is what the fuck happens when you normalize atrocities. When you normalize fascism, people start to get assassinated for political beliefs. This is what happens when you have to center white male fragility and Call of Duty mentality. This is what the fuck you get. You get brown shirt, you get brown khaki wearing motherfuckers marching down streets and then getting in the back of U-Hauls and driving away. When you have to look at these motherfuckers as more or anything other than the fucking little terroristic bastards that they are and address it honestly, this is what you get. This is what you get. It's what you get. And the problem with that is that that becomes normal. When you normalize fascism, this is what you get. When you normalize the idea of people not expressing their First Amendment rights, this is what the fuck you get. You get this, kids. You get this. And why? Why? Because the idea of calling something exactly what the fuck it is bad here. Protests are not a problem. Not all of them are riots, and especially the ones that fight for people, the rights of people. But you've been told otherwise. And then you have sheriffs in Broward County, Florida, which we really should sell back to the French, sitting there saying that if you express your First Amendment rights, we'll kill you. I can spit on the ground any goddamn time I want. I can burn a fucking American flag if I choose to. And I can tell a cop, go fuck himself. That is my First Amendment rights to do so. But when you normalize the idea of submit to this bullshit or we'll kill you, this is what the fuck you get. When you normalize celebrating motherfuckers like Elon Musk, who basically is a white supremacist, but he has a lot of money, so we let it go. Or Peter Thiel, the fucking puppet master with the fist crammed up J.D. Vance's ass. This is what the fuck you get. When you normalize a petulant man-child, ABC, paying money to this motherfucker, firing Terry Moran, CBS bending the knee to his little $20 billion lawsuit because he didn't want to be man enough to fucking answer questions. This is what the fuck you get. You cannot reason with fascism. You cannot bargain with fascism. It needs to be called out and eliminated. And yes, some little white boys' feelings are going to be hurt. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. They're always talking about facts over feelings. The facts of the matter are, these motherfuckers are the biggest danger in this goddamn country. Not Mexicans or trans women, these motherfuckers. And you want us to capitulate to them bitches? Look at what giving them everything they want has cost us. Now, diversity is a bad thing. Now we have to capitulate to the Proud Boy mentality. Now we have ICE agents just breaking the goddamn law, and we're pretty sure none of them will be held accountable because the other fucking side wants to cater to these bitches. And then you get 4 people getting shot in Minnesota and 2 of them dying. This is what the fuck you get. Fuck these goddamn shits.
Guys, they are now targeting Democratic politicians. Congresswoman Melissa Hortman and her husband were unalive today when someone approached their home dressed as police officers and unalived them both. Senator John Hoffman, I believe, and his wife were attempted to be unalived, but they are in the hospital now. So, after some investigation, they found a manifesto of one of the shooters, and from what they're reporting, it leads straight to the president's door. So they are now resorting to unaliving people by pretending to be police officers and approaching their homes and unaliving them in their homes and their families. What do you say behind that? So many have been warning that things were going to get way, way out of hand because of the rhetoric and the hate speech and the dangerous talking or speaking that has been going on, that there will be some people out there that will take it literally and go out and act on it. And we are here again because we've been here before, but the last time that I'm recalling, the person did not die but was severely injured. And now we're in 2025, feeling like it's not 2025, and a person lost their life because they decided to serve their community, to serve their state. And for that, they were sentenced to a death sentence today by somebody who in their manifesto is a Trump follower. Is the violence, is that considered the great again? Because all I'm seeing is more and more violence. That's it. Is this the great part? Because now people are merely opening their doors, respecting the uniform standing in front of them, and for that respect, it costs them their lives. Because some individual decided to take it upon themselves to do the bidding of the person they're following. My condolences to both families who have been affected by this tragedy. My heart and my prayers go out to you. People, it's time to keep your head on a swivel. It's been past that time, but even to the point of who you opening your doors for. Seems like you're going to have to call the police to tell them that the police is at their door, to try to verify why the police are at your door. Well, for those who were looking for this kind of America, I guess you got your great again. But for people who were looking for America they knew, America they grew up in, America they grew to have their issues with, but yet still love, fight for, defend. This is not great again at all. Be careful, my people. Stay aware. Keep looking left, right, and front and back before you make one move. And be careful who you open your doors to. Because evidently, these impersonating officers of the law is getting very, very popular. And you can't trust what you see. So be careful out there, my people. You guys take care. I'll talk to you later.
All right, motherfuckers, strap up and get ready because it's about to get real. 2 Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota were shot overnight in their homes by a gunman pretending to be a police officer. I'm going to say that one more time in case y'all motherfuckers not really hearing me. Representative Melissa Hortman and Senator John Hoffman Both Democratic lawmakers representing Minnesota were shot in their homes along with their spouses last night by a gunman pretending to be a police officer. This is not a drill. They got the entire area where this happened. I think they said Brooklyn Park. They got that entire area on lockdown. The governor has been briefed. Shit is getting real. And what's worse, we don't know if they're alive or dead. Their conditions are not known at this time. This is all according to Fox 9, right? At this time, we have no idea why these people were targeted at all. I mean, common sense would tell you it's probably because they're Democrats, but hey, what do I know? And the gunman has not been found, at least not as of this recording. What have I been saying all this time? Hold on to your motherfucking hats because it's about to get real spooky out this bitch. I'm telling y'all.
We have some extremely serious breaking news right now. In Minnesota, according to Fox 9, overnight, 2 Democratic lawmakers were shot by an individual impersonating a police officer. The 2 lawmakers are Senator John Hoffman and Representative Melissa Hortman. According to Fox 9 in Brooklyn Park, an individual representing a police officer shot both Hortman and Hoffman in their homes overnight along with their spouses. There's currently a shelter-in-place alert if you are in the area for the Edinburgh golf course and the 3-mile radius around it. We don't know what the condition is of the 2 Democratic lawmakers. This is horrific news, folks. And obviously we are hoping and praying that they are okay, along with their spouses, that they are okay. But this is yet another form of political violence in the United States of America. According to Fox 9, the individual was impersonating a police officer in what appears to be a targeted assassination of some sort. So I'll provide you and follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come very soon. We have a serious update about the 2 Democratic lawmakers and their spouses who were shot in what appears to be a targeted shooting in Minnesota overnight. According to Fox 9, Senator John Hoffman and his wife are now out of surgery, but the other representative, Melissa Hortman, is in, quote, grave condition right now. Meanwhile, Governor Tim Walz has officially activated the State Emergency Operations Center, saying, quote, local law enforcement in Champlain and Brooklyn Park have the full resources for the state of Minnesota behind them. We are monitoring the situation closely and will share more information soon. Remember, this was 2 individuals dressed as law enforcement officers, one of which has been apprehended. One is still on the run. They pretended to be impersonated law enforcement and shot 2 Democratic lawmakers and their spouses. One is out of surgery along with his wife. We don't know their condition. The other is in grave condition still. I'll provide you updates every step of the way. This is very serious, so spread the word. I'll have more updates soon, and follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come soon.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz confirmed Representative Melissa Hortman and her spouse were shot and killed in their home in Brooklyn Park. Senator John Hoffman and his wife were also shot multiple times in their home, Walz said. Hoffman and his wife were hospitalized and remained alive at this time. Walz called the shootings a targeted attack. Quote, this was an act of targeted political violence, Walz said. The Brooklyn Police Department has issued a shelter-in-place order as police look for the suspect, who is considered armed and dangerous. Again, the suspect is described as a white man with brown hair wearing black body armor over a blue shirt and blue pants. They are saying that since the man is impersonating police, authorities have told residents not to answer the door unless they see 2 police officers or to call 911 to confirm the identity of the officer. Again, this is still developing news. My heart and prayers go out to Melissa Hortman and her family. This is truly devastating.
I don't know about the rest of Minnesota, but I woke up to a weird alarm this morning. Bah, bah, bah. Anyone else? And when I Googled it, 5 in the morning, nothing popped up. Now all of a sudden we're finding out she's dead, he's critical, and her husband too, by the way, shot and killed. They're both Democrats. He's a senator. She was representing District 34B. They live right next to me. What's going on in this country where we're killing representatives that are of a different party? I'm not much of a political person, but it just is amazing to me that you're willing to go this far for someone that you don't know. This was a targeted attack on Democratic representatives in Minnesota, state representatives. And there was no reason for this. It's sick. It's really sick. It's despicable. And I really just pray for everyone involved. You know, the families of everyone involved. I pray he makes it out. Cause wow, this is shameful. You know, anyone that thinks this is okay should be ashamed themselves. And as someone that lives in the community here, you know, that pays my taxes, that votes, you know, regardless of who I vote for, you know, if Republicans won the House, you know, it would be so far from my mind and anyone reasonable's mind to take violence as the option. And this is horrible. You know, this is a daughter. He's a son. Like these people have families, and you just get so locked into whatever alt-right conspiracy theories you're on online, you lose sense with the reality that these are people with families that have lives outside of when they clock in and clock out and go to work. So you just commit a horrible act. And one of them got last night, but I'm pretty sure when I recorded this, the other one's still at large. This is crazy. You know, they impersonated police officers. They wore body armor. Like this was an assassination. Like this is amazing. This is amazing. And yeah. Wow.
Is mad. Two different politicians in Minnesota were attacked. One of them, Melissa, with her husband, they're gone now. They believe the assailant was impersonating a police officer, dressed like a police officer. Went to a politician and did that. Next politician, John, they went up to him and his spouse as well, another Democrat. And again, in hospital right now, praying for him, praying for the families. They reckon this is politically motivated. Where did they get the police uniforms from? Remember, they had the beef with the whole defund the police. There was a whole load of beef there. Where did they get the uniforms from? It was targeted and planned. This has no place in a civilized society. Everyone should come out and condemn this immediately, regardless of what political side you're on.
And today, on June 14th, we have two Democratic lawmakers who were pew-pewed with their spouses. Democratic Representative John Huffman and his spouse, and Democratic Representative Melissa Hortman and her spouse. Both Democrats are Minnesota lawmakers, and they were targeted by an individual impersonating law enforcement. Is it beginning to sink in now? Give the solution.
Those of you who are choosing to march, I hope you guys see this, and I hope you guys please be safe. I made a post a few days ago and I made a statement and said that, I myself as a Black person, I'm not going out in the streets to participate in the protests. However, I do feel like we should be doing something systematically while our Latin brothers and sisters is out there in the streets. And the reason why I said it is because last night, a extremist shot and unalived Melissa Hortman and her husband, and she's a Democratic representative from Minnesota. And then they also shot and injured John Hortman. I want to say his name is John or Jim. John Hortman and his wife, and they are expected to survive. And so the reason why I made that post a few days ago is because extremists like Trump and MAGA, they don't just go away. It's not good enough that they're ripping families and friends and people and ripping them apart. That's not good enough. They're going to take it to the next level. They are extremists. So as a minority, we do have to band together regardless of what certain Latin groups are saying and say about Black Americans. It's to our own benefit as well, you guys. Y'all ate me alive in that post. I still stand by what I said. We need to be doing something systematically. Because what reason did they have to unalive Melissa Hortman and her husband? What reason did they have to shoot John Hortman and his wife? They had no reason to do it. It's extreme. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. Please be careful today, you guys.
They killed a Democratic lawmaker and her husband. They killed a Democratic lawmaker and her husband. They pretended to be a police officer, and they went up to their home and they shot them in their home. And the other two, they're still in the hospital. It's disgusting. And there are some of you who just scream that this is okay, that this is what I voted for, this is what I wanted. Okay, well, there's a new can of worms open now. For the first time that I've been alive as an adult, I have witnessed political rhetoric result in the death, a shooting death of a politician and their family. Is this enough yet? Are you over it yet? Are the tariffs and the higher prices and all the bullshit that we are going through right now, was it worth it? You owned the libs. Good job.
This is all I got from this video, and all I can say is that everybody really be very careful out there, because the rate and at which so many stories are coming out is a little bit scary. And the fact that they went straight up into someone's house to do what they did to Pe0ple, and the cops are saying that the person fired at them and then took off. The cops could not find him, they could not catch him. But if you were black people driving past, or people trying to protest or something, they would threaten to cut you, to do this and to do that. But somebody went into somebody's house, Pe0ple the person, and escaped. Now, man, I am not gonna lie, but just make sure that you are security conscious at this point in time, because if there is something that I've been saying since this administration started, like, there has never been a week off. There is something going on. And it looks like there is an importation of something, and that is racism, which is actually growing every day. It escalates. And most times, innocent people are the one going through it. People that probably did not do anything or something. Now it looks like when you talk too much, it's a problem. When you don't talk, it's a problem. So how is somebody supposed to escape this? Now there is a video that I saw, and I don't know how I saw that video, but I saw a video of this man, the orange man, saying that he wants his people to obey him like in North Korea. Sincerely speaking, I don't know, but you all can actually see what is happening. The way they, like, the ICE agent, like, I have been seeing videos of ICE agent arresting people. They do not behave like people that are in force. But then I am like, okay, but people that are in force, have they ever behaved kindly or nicely? Because firstly, my mind took me back to a slave patrol, right? But they behave like thugs. There is nothing good or calm or okay about the way everything is all by force. Like, something that I don't know, but it's kind of scary. And the best I can say is let you all know this, so everyone will be very, very security conscious. I think that is the right thing to. Please be security conscious out there. And when you are going to some certain places, make sure you can share your location with someone you trust, and or make sure people know where you are going to, just in case, because this is really not a good time. Bye for now.